I'm sorry I didn't see you. Yeah. It's nice to see you tonight. Nice to see you. Shabbat Shalom. And thanks for hosting the Vilrig.
Is there anything you need my...
I don't know. I'm not sure what we're doing for the Shabbat.
Okay.
Is there anything you wish we were doing?
No.
Okay. Anything could happen.
Great. I love that.
It won't be what we did last time.
Okay. Good Shabbos. Shabbat Shalom. It's so good to see your faces. Good Shabbos. Now I'm going to invite you to look around, and if there's someone in the space that you're like, I just need to hug that person before Shul starts, this is the perfect time to go give one more hug. Good. Yeah, don't miss this chance. This is a great time.
I'm listening to my rabbi.
Yeah. I think we're ready.
The first verse of the song that we're about to sing, which unfortunately we don't have in front of you, translates from the Judeo-Persian to say, by the merit of the Torah of Moshe, by the merit of this gathering of friends, new friends, longtime friends, friends from the start of it all, send us the good news of the coming of our redemption. How fortunate, how happy are we, O Israel. Ashrechem, Yisrael. Ashrechem, 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 Yisrael. Ashrechem, 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 Yisrael.
Let's do that again.
Ashrechem, 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 Yisrael. Ashrechem, 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 Yisrael.
We're going to be singing that again and again, so we're going to do call and response words for a moment. Ashrechem,
Ashrechem,
which means, let's be happy. Happy may you be. Happy may this collective be. Ashrechem,
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 Yisrael.
Yisrael.
And you know, if you say it 3 times, God willing, may it come true. So let's sing that together.
Don't do it in a mirror, though. Something weird happens. Ashrechem,
Ashrechem, Ashrechem, Yisrael. Ashrechem, 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 Yisrael.
Zechutei Torei Moshe, Zechutei Jamei Cheverim, Bar Maresan Besora, Azomadane Yeshua, Ashrechem, 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 Yisrael. Ashrechem, 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 Yisrael. As Cheshmei Yeshua, Ahobayati Barorim, Bar Maresan Besora, Azomadane Yeshua, Ashrechem, 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 Yisrael. Ashrechem, 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 Yisrael. Ashrei, Asher, Ashrei, Hashirim Asher Lishlomo, Ashrei, Asher, Ashrei, Hashirim Asher Lishlomo, Ashrechem, 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 Yisrael. Ashrechem, 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 Yisrael. Ashrechem, 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 Israel. To wish happy birthday to Reuben as you turn 60 years old, thank God. So the standard text of Pirkei Avot, when talking about age, says that at age 60, one attains zikna, which I am going to translate as one attains sagacity. You become a sage. Yeah? Anne's not totally convinced about my translation, but I'm going with it. The Arizal, Isaac Luria, interprets that Mishnah by teaching that one reaches zikna, this old age, when one can summon up the inner resources that enable a person to rise and accomplish their purpose in life. So my wish for you as you enter this new decade is that you feel grounded in your purpose. May you feel supported by those around you. May you have time for rest and for connection with loved ones. May you be healthy. May you be well. May you rejoice in this milestone and open with trust and with joy to what's to come. So we're going to sing you a rousing mazel tov. Simin tova, mazel tova, mazel tova, simin tov, mazel tova, mazel tova, simin tova, mazel tova, simin tov. Yeilanu, 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 ulecho Yisrael. Yeilanu, yeilanu,
Mazal Tov, and it teaches in Talmud that there was a sage who threw a feast for scholars on his 60th birthday. And I think you must have studied that part of Talmud because you and Gail, your beloved, have thrown us a feast tonight by sponsoring the Oneg. So thank you so much for inviting us to your birthday party. Thank you. So we're going to continue together now in song as we turn to invite each other into song with L'chun Ranana, Psalm 95 on page 12 or number 3 in our online Siddur.
Oh, I don't know about you, but I long for nothing, literally nothing more, than to find myself in the deep place of harmony with you tonight, the place of Shabbat. So let's sing the last mile together, shall we? Lechu Niranena Ladonai Nariya Letzu Yeshenu Nikadma Fanav Bitoda Bizmirot Nariya L'chun Ranana Adonai Nariya Litzu Yeshenu Nikadim Afanav Betoda Bizmirot Ya la la ya ya la ya la la ya yo ya la la ya ya la ya la 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 ya la la ya ya la ya la la ya yo ya la la ya ya la ya la 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 ya la la ya ya la ya la la ya yo ya la la ya ya la ya la 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 ya la la ya ya la ya la la ya yo ya la la ya ya la ya la 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 ya la la ya ya la ya la la ya yo ya la la ya ya la ya la la ya ya ya
We continue with Yismechu Hashamayim, page 13, the bottom paragraph if you're in the Siddur.
Yismechu Hashamayim ישמחו השמיים, ישמחו השמיים, ותגל הארץ. ישמחו השמיים, ישמחו השמיים, ישמחו השמיים, ותגל הארץ. ירמיים, ירמיים, ירמיים ומלוא, ירמיים, ירמיים, ירמיים ומלוא, ירמיים, ירמיים, ירמיים ומלוא, ירמיים, ירמיים, ירמיים ומלוא. Ya la 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 ya la ya la ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 ya la ya la ya la 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 la. Ay la ya la ya la ya la 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 la. Ay la ya la ya la ya la 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 la. Oh ay 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 la. Oh ay 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 la. Ay 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 la. Oh ay 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 la. Oh ay ay la. Ay 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 la. ישמחו השמיים,
ישמחו השמיים, ישמחו השמיים, ותגל הארץ. We continue with Ana Bechoach, which you'll find in your insert. As we open to Shabbat, let us loosen whatever it is that's holding us in the week that is passing. Open to rest.
ענה בכוח גדולת ימינך, תתיר צרורה, תתיר צרורה, קבל רינת עמך, סגבנו, תרנו, נורא. ענה בכוח גדולת ימינך, תתיר צרורה, תתיר צרורה, קבל רינת עמך, סגבנו, תרנו, נורא. Solid ground, until I saw the earth in motion, in the wind of steady change, and in the ever rolling ocean. I believed in solid ground. Ever
we welcome Shabbat with a poem, with Lecha Dodi, singing a love song to this time of peace. I want to invite us to welcome two special people to Shir Tikva, one who is departing and one who has just arrived. First, Aaron Burke, Erev Rav Aaron Burke, who is heading off to rabbinical school in like 3 minutes, is here in the back of the room. We love you, we'll miss you, Batzlacha. And then if we look even beyond Aaron Burke, through the glass doors to this amazing person who's waving both hands, this is Jessica Markison, who is our new executive director, who is here with us. Welcome to Shir Tikva, Jess. We're so happy to have you. Jess is acting as a showmare right now, so this is why she's out at the doors. She's into also being here with us, but she's being very safe and protective. Thank you. So as we sing Lecha Dodi, first, I just want to say one more time, welcome to each and every one of you who is here, and to say something about music and about the ways that songs help form community. Because I know that as Shir Tikva, as this community that has been singing a song of hope for decades now, that our harmonies have sounded different, our melodies have been different through the decades. And it feels so powerful tonight to have people in the room who are here at Shir Tikva's founding, and people in the room who are here for the very first time, and just honor the depth and the breadth of our song. And I want to welcome, because for those of us who are like, I don't know this melody, I'm just not sure about this one. First of all, know that you're not alone. There is at least one other person in the room for any melody who's going to be like, I don't know about this one. And that actually the chance to pray through a melody that might be unfamiliar or with words that might not feel comfortable, that's actually a really amazing spiritual lesson. Because I have also been a person and have been sitting with people who said, I don't know about that melody. And by living with it, sometimes it's just not the melody for you. Sometimes it's just not the prayer for the moment. But by living with a melody and davening through a melody, praying through a melody, it's amazing what might emerge. And again, it's not a demand, but it's an invitation to say, treat every prayer, every melody, every moment as a chance to learn. Treat every melody like a teacher, like an invitation, and just know, if you're like, I don't know about this one, I don't know how to find my purchase here, that every tefillah has a beginning and an end. And in Lecha Dodi, we sing 2 melodies. So we have that chance to be flexible even then. So just, what can we do? So if melodies or if words are feeling inaccessible, hey, it's Shir Tikva. Sing your own melody. All melodies are welcome. And if the words are feeling hard, sing Yaida Dai or La La La, or just let your breath and let the music move through you and see where it carries us. May it carry us out into the street on 50th and out of our homes, out of wherever we are to meet Shabbat. So here we go, page 20. Here's Lecha Dodi.
Lecha Dodi Likrat Shabbat nekabela lehadodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nekabela Shabbat לכו ונלכה כי מקור הברכה היה שמי כלבם נסוכה סוף מעשה
במחשבה תחילה
לחדודי לקראת כלה בני שבת נקבלה מקדש מלך עיר מלוכה קומי צאי מתוך ההפכה רב מחשבת עיר מלוכה והוא יחמוד עלייך חמלה לחדודי לקראת כלה בני שבת נקבלה על יד בן אישי בית הלכתי כל באל נפשי גאלה לך דודי לקראת כלה בני שבת נקבלה לך דודי לקראת כלה בני שבת נקבלה התעוררי כי באורך קומי אורי
דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לא תבושי ולא תקמי, מה תשתוכחי ומה תמי, בך יחסו עניי עמי, ונבנית העיר על תילה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. והיו למשויסה שוסייך, ורחקו כל מבלייך, יסיס עלייך אלוהייך, כמסות חתן הכלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. ימין ושמאל תפרוצי, ואת אדוני תריצי, על יריש בן פרצי, ונשמחה ונגילה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. בואי בשלום עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצולה, תוך אמוני עם סגולה. בואי חלה, בואי חלה, לך דודי, לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. יה לה לה יה לה יה לה 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 יה איי 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 דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. Let's sing our friends back into the room. לך דודי, לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. יה לה לה יה לה יה לה 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 יה איי יה לה לה יה לה לה יה לה יה לה לה יה יה לה 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 יה לה לה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. We made it to Shabbos. Good Shabbos, everyone. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
We're going to take the next 3 minutes, 4 minutes to greet each other. Yeah, 4 minutes, which means that this is a chance for us in physical space to greet each other, to mingle a bit. You'll know it's time to stop when you hear us singing. And on Zoom, you'll be broken into breakout groups, and then you'll have a chance to come back together. Good Shabbos. might do something like, is there another classic? Because I think it's just like I feel like everyone's singing together. I know that's not. Yeah. Okay, great. So we'll just.
So I mean, give me a look.
You will. Okay, thank you. Thank you.
If you give me a look, I'll know that you're.
Then I'll cover it, and if not, we'll do it at the show. Perfect. Deal. Ya la, ya la, ya la 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 la. This makes me feel like I'm at a family reunion. This is exactly the feeling of. So we're going to please feel free to keep greeting each other, but we're going to say also calling each other to prayer with Baruch Hu. So if you would like to call each other to prayer, please turn to page 28. Rise in body and spirit. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ay ya la la la. Ay ya la la la. Ay ya la 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 lo. Ay ya la la la. Ay ya la la la. Ay ya la 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 yo. Baruchu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach. HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. HaMevorach. HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. We recite the Shema on page 34. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Baruch Shem Kivod Malchuto Leolam Vaed. You may be seated. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם Adonai Elohechem Emet. So a question for you. On what day of creation was song created? When in Torah does song show up? It's a trick question. I'm so sorry. According to our rabbis in Talmud, song didn't get created in those first days of creation. And according to the rabbis in Talmud, generation after generation, Abraham and Sarah, Isaac and Rebekah, Jacob and Leah and Rachel, the generations passed. And according to the rabbis, people didn't sing together. What? People didn't sing until the Israelites stood on the shore of the Sea of Reeds and the waters split. That was the moment, and the people sang. What a powerful catalyst to song. Singing from wonder, relief, joy, humility. That song became the path that carried the Israelites from the shore of slavery into the wilderness on the path towards liberation. So what song did they sing? Micha mocha ba'elim Adonai. Who is like you, God, maker of wonders, doer of miracles. The rabbis of Talmud imagine that the first song in the world was the words that we are about to sing. the words of crossing over. And so we imagine ourselves standing on our own shore of the sea. What are we seeking to leave tonight? What is that narrow place that we're crossing? And how might our song help us to move through that passage out into the expanse? Let's sing together Micha Mocha, found on page 40.
Kamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh, norat teilot osef ele, norat teilot osef ele, malchutecha ra'u v'anecha, bokei hayam lifnei Moshe u'Miriam, ze eliyanu ve'amru, Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed. Yai la la la, 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 Kifada Adonai et Yaakov, ugualo miad chazak mimenu, Baruch atah Adonai, Ga Yisrael.
The sages on Zoom are wondering, what melody did the Israelites sing as they crossed through? That was
It was that one. Why do you think I chose that melody?
Rabbi Harry Adler asked that, and then Rabbi Sarah Knautz said, well, it was probably a melody that no one had heard before. You got it going on, Zoom. Thank you. So let us pray for peace now with our hearts wide open on page 42.
Ufros aleinu sukkot shelomecha ufros aleinu
Let us sing this song of our relationship with Shabbat, page 44, Vishamru.
Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברי עולם, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
ביני ובין בני ישראל oti leolam, oti
leolam, v'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני,
עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש,
שבת ויהי נפש, שבת ויהי נפש, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
We're on the threshold of the Amidah, this time to connect with our breath, to connect with our prayer. We'll have a few moments in quiet, but before we do so, I just want to invite us to share in the space words of gratitude. We're just going to loft our gratitude up and fill it up the chat. Let us fill up our space. Let's just call out our words all at once. What are we feeling grateful for tonight? For all this and more, let us rise in body and spirit. Our Amidah begins on page 46, and we'll join together for Oseh Shalom on page 62. Adonai, Sfatai tiftach, ufi yagid, tehilatecha. Ya la la, ya la, ya la la, ay, ay, ya la la, ya, ya, ya la, ya, ya, ya la la la. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל יושבי תבל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל יושבי תבל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל יושבי תבל. ואמרו, אמרו, amen. We take this time now to pray for healing of body, for healing of spirit. I'll look around the room and invite you to share names of people that you're praying for, and please don't be worried to say a name at the same time of someone else. We're creating together a web of names, a web of beloveds who are in need of healing. And if you're at home, please share names on Zoom, in the chat. But let us just hold wishes for healing, for wellness, for care. I invite you now, please, to share names. When the world is sick, can't no one be well? Well, I dreamt we were all beautiful and strong. Elna Rifana la, Elna Rifana la, Elna Rifana la, Elna Rifana la, Elna Rifana la. It's my joy now to welcome Rabbi Stacy Offner back to the Shir Tikva Bima. Rabbi Offner, Shir Tikva's Emerita Rabbi, is a trailblazer, a community cultivator, and a beloved teacher of Torah. I feel like I get to talk you down the aisle. I'm very, come on down. It's just a real joy to get to welcome Rabbi Offner along with her wife, Nancy Abramson, forgive me, back into our sanctuary, and to invite Rabbi Offner into conversation. Oh, hello. When Rabbi Offner let me know early this spring that she and Nancy were going to be returning to the Twin Cities, we started scheming the possibility of you offering a Devar Torah. And I am touched and humbled to get to share these minutes of Torah and conversation together with the whole community. So Rabbi Offner, I want to invite us into a siach, into prayerful conversation. We read in Talmud Brachot, Ve'ein sicha ela tefillah. that conversation, siach, is nothing if not prayer. May our words and our sharing, our laughter, and even perhaps our stammering be a bridge of prayer for connection and insight. We, this mighty crew, is so happy to have you back, to welcome you and your Torah back into the sacred space that you were so instrumental in creating. Welcome, welcome.
Thank you, thank you. Thank you, Rabbi Ariel, for the warmest welcome one could ever hope for. You have been so loving and joyful and heartfelt, and in your warm embrace of both Nancy and me, and we feel it all the way from Connecticut and through the, oh yeah, that's new. Where are the, oh, there's those people.
There we go.
There they are. Do I get to see? Can I see for a second?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, look at that. Oh, that's great.
So there was like a 20-second delay, so they'll wait back. Here they go.
Oh, okay. Oh, yes, okay. That is wonderful. Thank you all for
Welcome home, welcome home.
Oh, look at that.
Wings back.
That's fantastic. This is amazing. This is amazing. You know, I really, Nancy and I wanted to come back, and I wanted to just be in the congregation, not really to talk, but it's worth talking just to be able to get this vantage point and to see all of you from here. And the other thing I want to say as I see you here through this crazy time tunnel, I want you to know that I see those births and I see those challenges that we walked through and some of the crises we went through, both individually and collectively, deaths, the joys of the bar and bat mitzvahs and the bee mitzvahs, which we didn't know yet, but we were slow back in the day. But we haven't forgotten one of those. You know, we carry that together, the journeys, the life. It's with us here. And I see you. And even the people, maybe even sweetest of all, the people who I'm getting to see for the very, very first time, because it's a reminder that there's a future and that there's change and that there are new things all the time, every day, and thank God for that. So for the old and the new, and for being together, it's just extraordinary. And the blessing that Nancy and I'll tell you a secret. So we're at services, we're davening. Oh, MJ, oh my God, MJ. So I just have to tell you that the first time, I don't know if you'll remember, the first time I ever met MJ, it was 1984, and we were at Osrui for a Nafti conclave. And I was a kid Pisher rabbi at Mount Zion Temple, and you were, you know, doing your amazing thing. Do you ever sing Fish Heads anymore? No, that's all. Okay.
Our closing number, maybe?
Okay. Well, so to be together, to learn that MJ was going to be on the Bima tonight, and MJ and Nancy have the most incredible history too, and it's just incredible to be together. And I told Rabbi Stiefel, you know, so you have the best rabbi here in the entire universe. And Rabbi Stiefel has been, you are a rock.
That's right.
And you are rock solid. And Shir Tikva has leaned on you and is able to lean on you, and you've allowed that to be, and it is such a blessing for this congregation. I remember when you first came, I handed you my machzorim, and my machzorim had, in the old days, had every single little note there, all my secrets I bequeathed to you, and you guarded them so beautifully. And so just standing here, it's being in a time machine. But and I think back to the future, but we Jews have our own version of that, and it's that fabulous story in the Mishnah about Moses, that Moses goes up to get the Torah, and Moses goes to get the Torah, and God gives Moses the Torah and says, Moses looks at the Torah and says, well, what's this? This isn't supposed to be in the Torah. There are these little crowns there and everything. And God says, oh, that's for someone who's going to come after you. And Moses says, who's coming after me? And God says, well, there's going to be this wonderful rabbi named Rabbi Akiva who comes after you, and Rabbi Akiva will know what to do with the crowns. And Moses says, I want to see this Rabbi Akiva. And so God says, okay, well, just turn around. And Moses turns around and finds himself in Rabbi Akiva's shul, in the back row, as it happens. And Moses looks up at Rabbi Akiva and thinks, wow, this is Torah. This is Torah. This isn't my Torah. This is her Torah. Well, that in the Mishnah was his Torah. And then Rabbi Akiva makes reference to Moses and says, this is Moses' Torah. And Moses says, I think this is correct, actually, in the Hebrew, Moses says, holy moly. This gets to be my Torah. So the joy that I have to be here with your rabbi and to be able to kvel like it's my stuff is great. So thank you very much. There. Yeah.
Oh, you gift. You're such a gift. Be here every week, please. Every week. So I am thrilled to get to ask some questions that have been burning and keeping me up at night. So I'm ready. I've come ready with some questions.
Oh, you've got questions. Nice questions. Okay. So we have questions for each other.
There we
okay,
go.
Okay.
So I'm wondering, Rabbi Offner, if you might be able to share some of the Torah that was animating you and animating Shir Tikva in those first days of the congregation. Do you remember a juicy learning that you did?
That I can share?
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you, I was thinking about it, sitting there, looking here. First looking at this Aron HaKodesh that we built and thinking, whoa, it is beautiful. And I remember when we built it, the challenge when we talked with the architect who was building it, I said, you cannot cover one of these windows. We can't cover a window. Well, look, the place was all windows, and we didn't know what to do, and we said, we are not covering a window. And so this Aron was built very intentionally, not only not to cover the window, but as a reminder that when we look at that Aron, we're supposed to be looking out at the world and not just keeping it in here. So I was looking at the Aron and looking at the Torah scrolls, and speaking of the crowns, the first Torah cover is that one on your right. Paula Pergament was the brilliant artist, and the concept was the rainbow. We wanted, Baruch atah Adonai zocher tabrit. We wanted a reminder that the rainbow and everything that's included in the rainbow, which is everything, would be in that Torah cover. And Paula said, but I don't want to design it. I don't think it should be my design. And we went to the religious school students, and we had every single religious school student picture the rainbow and the covenant and draw what they would. And from that inspiration, Paula made this cover. And so that's the Zocher Tabrit, the rainbow. But also in there, you may know that there are tears in that Torah cover. And there are tears that then transform to stars. So when you ask what the Torah is, I think the Torah that was the foundation of Shir Tikva and continues to be Shir Tikva is that verse from the Psalm, Hazorim Bedima, those who sow in tears will reap in joy. And that became a force because there were a lot of tears. And tears, I believe with my whole heart, are fertilizer. They're fertilizer for beauty and for growth, for the flowers and the trees and everything beautiful. And Shir Tikva proves that point. So that's a piece of Torah.
Wow.
That we've got. Oh, so now I get to ask you a question? Is it?
Sure, we can keep tossing like back and forth.
I can ask you a question. I'm actually curious if to the extent to which you and the congregation continue to be aware of our founding story and how you hold it, and maybe critique, how you've veered from it, and how you continue to hold it fast.
So I came to Shir Tikva 5 years ago.
I know that.
You're right. We met each other my very first Shabbat at Shir Tikva, and actually it's 5 years ago last weekend that we were together in this space. And so it feels like I came into Shir Tikva at a really specific moment when there were so many different stories. It felt like that were being braided together. And I think this is a moment for me, like right now, where it's a chance to really get to hear the founding story. And just as you're sharing the Torah, right, to be able to say, how did each of these pieces come to be? Because it's not by accident, right? How do we slow down enough to hear each other's stories and really honor where it is the Shir Tikva has come from, where it's been, and also to honor where it's going? I have to say, I've heard the story of the pizza parlor many times. I recently heard the story of visiting a funeral home as a potential home for Shir Tikva. That was new. Thank you. And so I've been learning these pieces of, and what I have to say is, as I've been learning these hidden, for me, have been hidden pieces, is the joy, the laughter that has been sort of ricocheting through the stories, the sort of the absurdity and the delight and the challenge of creating Jewish community, of finding each other and making meaning. And I will say, I'm just going to name drop Tracy Deutsch, who is here in the space, who has been digging through, I did not get your permission to share this, but who has been digging through
Tracy, raise your hand.
Yay, Tracy.
Oh, that's Tracy.
Who's been digging through the Jewish archives and Shir Tikva's folders of the Jewish archives. And so as a historian has really been exploring Shir Tikva's becoming. And I'm really excited to get to learn more from Tracy and from the founding generation about really what is our DNA, right? What are the stories that have made this place and that guide it? I would say there isn't that feeling of critique, there's a feeling of yearning that I feel personally to know where it is we come from. And I think that's a very Jewish feeling, the feeling of both of the diaspora, the drift between generations, and also the yearning for each other and the yearning for the Dorot, for the generation. So that's where my little piece 5 years in.
So as we also sitting in this space, thinking about how it holds us so beautifully, and I know that there are challenges with growth in this space, but are you lucky we didn't choose one of the other spaces? because when we chose this space, it was vast. It was beyond us. It was unbelievable. So Helen Rubinstein was chair of the search committee. And yeah, we looked at a funeral home. We looked at a car wash. I don't know what you get out of that. The Blaisdell Manor. Remember, the Blaisdell Manor was on that, and the Masonic Temple. Those were I think the spots. There, the people who were nodding who were right there, and the passion about each of these places. It's amazing we made decisions, and again, I think in some ways we made amazing decisions. So this space, Kenohara, we've been here since 1992, I think, is when we moved in. 94. Who said that? Gary. Stephen. Sandy. Okay. Well, you know. Okay. 1994. Yes, it was 1994.
And this is what I actually think is pretty miraculous about community, is that this is a story, like, if you were here in 94, can you just raise your hand? Yeah.
Wow.
And
okay, so and the reason why I actually do agree that it was 1994 was because when we were going to move, we had a Shir Tikva trip to Israel that summer. Who was on that trip in 1994? Well, look at this. Okay. Great.
So, but what I find amazing about this is that this story that you're telling, which about half of the room or a third of the room experienced, that's all of our story, right? This is a story that all of us get to imagine our way into in the same way that we learned that all of us stood at Sinai, right? That all of us, every generation stood at Sinai. I think that there's a way that this is a muscle that we at Shir Tikva get to build now, is how do we tell our community's Torah in a way that each of us really gets to feel like, oh yeah, I was there at the Masonic Temple. That was me too, right? I stayed up late in a late night board meeting wrestling over how to make this decision. That was me too, right? That laughter and that sense of belonging gets to be extended so that folks who are here for the first time get to say, me too, right? This is mine. This is my world. Get to grow into that feeling of being inside of our Shir Tikva story, our Shir Tikva Torah. So I might ask you one more question, or we could just stay here all night. This is always, every Shabbat, I'm like, can we just stay all night? People.
I'm also going to just say the laughter, with memory and nostalgia woven in, it gets even, more joyful. In the moments, there was a lot of stuff, and but you know what? All that stuff was about caring. Everything, all the big emotions, were about caring, and so they're all good.
I love that. So I'm wondering, maybe as a closing question, and then over our oneg, we can keep this conversation going. But what is the power? You've been a rabbi, a communal rabbi, for so many years, and you've helped shape Jewish community in such a profound way. What's the power of gathering in Jewish community, and especially this year, 2022? What a challenging year. Shir Tikva, like in the fractals, small and larger. What's the power of gathering as Jews this year?
Oh, that's an easy.
Yeah.
That's just easy.
If I can't ask you, who can I ask, Rabbi Offner,
It's the power of the minyan. It's the power of being together. It's the power of community, and it's the power of collective, and it's the power of being reminded that in Jewish life, the individual is not, if you peel things back to their core, the core is not the individual. The core is the collective. And that's always been powerful, and now it's extra powerful because of the emergence of anti-Semitism. It's extra powerful because of COVID. It's extra powerful because of the challenges that we face in our age. But Jews have always come together to face whatever has challenged us, and that's how we rise.
Thank you so much for joining us here. Thank you so much for the gift of your memory and how it is that you carry the strands of our community. I'm thinking about the tzitzit. I'm thinking about the corners of a tallis and about gathering the strands together. Yeah. And it feels like through you and these strands of our community have been gathered. And thank you so much for coming back and for gifting those strands back to us, helping create that sense of continuity and the sense of connection. It is so wonderful to learn with you. Come back anytime, please, both of you. It is just such a gift to have you in this space.
Thank you for welcoming us home. So one of those little secrets I said during the service, I leaned over to Nancy and I said, are you feeling emotional? And she said, a lot. And I said, yeah, me too. So thanks for holding us and welcoming us home.
Thank you, thank you. Let us all can we just feel what it feels like to give the best hug, and all of us just send the biggest hug towards Rabbi Avner and towards Nancy. So much love. Thank you. Yes, please. Oh my goodness. So we take this time now to bless each other, to receive blessings. What a blessing it is to have Rabbi Avner here. And so I'm going to invite us to just take a moment to hold each other close. The words of the blessings that we use are on our blue sheet, our purple sheet. And then our sages on Zoom will offer us blessings. המלאך הגואל אותי, המלאך הגואל אותי מכל רע, יברך את הנערים, ויקרב בהם שמי, ושם אבותיי, ושם אבותיי, אברהם ויצחק, וידגו לרוב, וידגו לרוב בקרב הארץ. ישימכם אלוהים כשרה, כרבקה, כרחל וכלאה, כאפרים וכמנשה. יברכך אדוני וישמרך, יאר אדוני פניו אליך ויחונקה. יישא אדוני פניו אליך וישם לך שלום. יללי, 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 May we have the wisdom to remember the stories that came before us and to create new stories going forward. May we be able to learn from our elders. May we listen when things align just so and tune in. May we always fall into tenderness even when our cactus selves are on display. May we see how beautifully we are connected across space and time. May we feel the true roots under our feet. May others keep opening doors for us, and as we walk through them, may we hold them open for others as we can. May we honor our past, enjoy our present, and plan for a bright future together. May we feel almost 5,783 years and millions of Jews standing with us whenever we feel lost or lonely. Bless our community from the beginning to now. May future generations smile and remember all that has made us so special and welcoming. May we weave our histories together, past and future, to enjoy the presence of each other. blessings of love, embrace of where we come from and where we are going. May we all be blessed with community in its fullest. May we truly feel the fact that we belong. May we move towards hope and towards each other. May we all rest, and may we know when we need to leave behind things that are hurting us. May we all be blessed in building our future on the strength of the past. May we go from strength to strength. Ken yehi ratzon. Wow. Let's rise together in body and spirit for the Aleinu. Page 284. Number 18. V'hashevota el levavecha ki Adonai hu Elohim v'hashevota el levavecha ki havaya hi Elohim v'nemar v'haya Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz bayom hahu yeh Adonai echad u'shemo echad. You may be seated. It's time now to remember to recite Kadisha Tom, to recite Mourner's Kaddish, and the custom of our community is to share stories of the people we're remembering. And so I'll share our community list, and if you don't hear the name of your loved one, I invite you then to raise your hand, and I'll come to you with a microphone and we'll share stories. I invite you please to keep your story to a sentence or two. It's a long list, and I just want to make sure we have time for everyone's stories. So we're in Shloshim, in the first 30 days since the death of Dick Kalin, father of Jeremy, Hope's father-in-law and grandfather of Leah and Jonah, and Nancy Kleeman's husband. Carol Jean Coventry, beloved of Sharon Jaffe.
So Carol Jean was an amazing radical lesbian separatist feminist that studied law, took a class with Andrea Dworkin and Kitty McKinnon, and when asked when she was in the hospital why she became a lawyer, she said because women and children are being killed and she wanted to save them. She was a citizen scientist. She lived on a farm an hour away in Baldwin, Wisconsin. She was a frog surveyor. She knew all the frog songs. And she was a prairie enthusiast and was restoring prairie, planted 10,000 trees on her land 20 years ago, and now it's a forest.
Jeffrey Lawrence Korach, father of Kara, Pakala, and father-in-law of Jim, and grandfather of Sam and Laura. And we observe the yard sites of Jay Binder, Jane's father, Veronica Bognar, Ivan Ludmer's mother, Max Brownstein, Shep Harris's uncle, Daniel Fox, Larry Fox's father, Kathy Getty, Michael's mother, Norbert Godin, Andre's uncle, Ralph Daniel Gracie, Paul's great-uncle, Aaron Greenwald, Emily Johnson's father, Lloyd Hollander, Judy's father, Patricia Klibanoff, Catherine's mother, Betty Lipkin, Rachel's mother.
I have a musical memory. I don't know if that's a surprise of my mom. My mom was Betty Kaner Lipkin, so we're proud Kaners. She grew up in Eveleth, Minnesota. And the Catholic Church was on the corner, and they were short second sopranos.
So every Sunday she would sneak out of the house and hope that her grandfather never saw her. But she would sing in the Catholic choir for Mass. And she also would go around, she loved Christmas carols, and she would go and do that. And I don't know if my great-grandfather ever knew.
Anne Ellen Glady Mratz, Mike's mother. Samuel Nass, Linda Tell's father. Howard Nudell, Lori Sweet's father.
So mental illness often made it hard for my dad to find his place in the world, but the synagogue was like his home. He would take us to Sunday school every year or every week and stay, but all the other parents left and he would stay. And it was important to him that he taught us to embrace our Jewish traditions and our Jewish values.
Colin Rochester, Jess's brother. Elaine Rose, Daniel Halpern's aunt. Dr. Robert Sayer, Nina's father. Helen Silverman, Beverly Fitzgerald's mother. Helen Silverman, Sylvia Kaplan's mother. Jean Small, Mary's mother.
Jean Small was a petite pistol of a woman who brought rock and roll and kindness and tenderness to my family. And she also brought her violin with her to one of our seders where she played Sunrise, Sunset.
Herbert Spieler, Barbara Greenhall's father. Meyer Tell, Brian's father. Lillian Bernstein, Neil Gossman's grandmother. Joe Skipwood, Jessica Wicks's husband. And are there others that we're remembering tonight? Yes.
My cousin Leslie Castor Rosenberg passed away last Saturday. And I only have 3 cousins now, too. And she was only 70. She had non-smokers, lung cancer. And I have memories. That was the only wedding on that side. And she had a great husband. And in her life, she did have 2 wonderful kids and 4 great-grandchildren. I mean, great-grandchildren, okay? But it is a loss, and thank you.
I'm remembering Rabbi Eric Jonathan Bram, my rabbinic school chavruta, and maybe the funniest person I ever met.
This is the 3rd yard site for a dear friend of mine who lost her battle with mental illness. I met her when I was trying to do community college one more time and unsuccessful, but she and I became very good friends, and she is very missed.
Just want to remember David Tomasoni, who did a great deal for the people of Minnesota over the course of many decades.
My uncle's father, so an uncle married into the family, his dad died recently at the age of 91. I was always very impressed. He did not seem to want to retire. He just wanted to keep going always.
A friend of mine from grade school, Hannah Toomey, it's been 14 years since her death, but I think the greatest thing is how much joy and love such a young person can bring into people's lives, including new kids in school when that's really hard, and how much a person can change people's lives no matter how long they live on the earthly plane.
My grandfather, Harry Rappaport's yahrzeit was Tu B'Av, and after he retired from his full-time job, he became the superintendent of the Jewish cemetery on 70th and a half and Penn, and he did that job till he was 90.
For all those who we've named aloud, all those who are carrying in our hearts, all those who have no one to say Kaddish for them, I invite us please to rise on page 294 and recite Kaddish Yatom. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah be'alma divrach yirutei v'yamlich malchutei b'chayechon uvyomechon uvchaye dechol beit Yisrael ba'agala uvizman kariv v'imru amen. Yehi shmei Rabbah mevorach leolam ulamei almaya yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh V'yitadar, v'yitale, v'yitalal, shmei dekudsha brichu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, ta'amiran v'alma v'imru, amen. Yehi shlam rabba min shemaya, b'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, v'imru, amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to all those who mourn, and let us say together, amen. You may be seated. A few brief announcements. Tomorrow morning at 9:30, we're celebrating the Bar Mitzvah of Asher Kaufman. Yay, 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 yay. That's going to be at Maim Rabim, so very close by. Please come, please celebrate. It will also be on Zoom. You can find the link in the e-news. I'm so thrilled for you and cannot wait to hear your Torah. Yesher Koach to Rabbi Shosh, to Rabbi Stiefel for all of your support, and Mazal Tov to your family. We have an oneg happening right after services. Thank you so much to Gail and to Ruben, and Mazal Tov on your birthday. Thank you so much to MJ Gilbert for your beautiful leading and your ruach and your song. Thank you so much to Rabbi Offner for your teaching and for your presence. It is so good to have you and Nancy here. Yay! Thank you so much to our Zoom mavens. Thank you so much to Julie Jacobs. Thank you so much to each of you present. Tomorrow at 2 p.m. we have a song circle, which will be happening. Yay to song circle! Woo! Which will be happening right outside on the Mini Haha side. Please come and join. Feel free to bring a song to share or just come and add your voice to the harmonies. It has been so wonderful. It happens on the 2nd and the 4th Shabbat of every month, 2 p.m. tomorrow. I believe that's it. Thank you to Gordon also. Yes. Yes. Yes, it is still take. Thank you so much for checking. We will take the food from inside and carry it outside where we can mingle happily with masks off. Thank you so much for, as we navigate our time through COVID. Good Shabbos. I'm going to thank you so much to David Bailey for making the challah. We're so, so grateful to you for your baking every week. I'm going to invite Asher to join me back on the bima, Asher and your family, and we will bless the challah that we've just mentioned, and the grape juice. Our blessings can be found on page 5 and page 302.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho be'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu zikaron lema'aseh v'reshit ki hu yom techila lemikra'e kodesh zecher letziat mitzrayim Kivanu v'acharta ve'otanu kidashta mikol hamim v'shabbat kodshecha be'ahava ratzon hinchaltanu baruch atah Adonai mikadesh haShabbat.
L'chaim. Here, let me take your book so you can take your mask off. Thank you. There we go. It's a lot of details. Why don't you take a sip first? Page 5.
What? 5? Oh, it's still page 5? I thought you said it was a different page.
Oh, maybe it's 302.
Yeah. There we go.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen.
Looks so beautiful, David. Yesher koach. So we will close in. I was to David about the challah. I know who Asher is. Fear not. And beautiful blessing. I'm going to invite MG to join me for a closing song. Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
So it is Shabbat Nachamu, the Shabbat after the shattering experience of Tisha B'Av. And Nachamu is the Shabbat of comfort. There's a story I recently read that tells of some of the rabbis who survived the destruction of the temple standing overlooking the burning temple. And they are, of course, sobbing, except for the previously mentioned Rabbi Akiva, who's laughing. And they ask him, "Why are you laughing?" And he said, "Because now I know that the worst thing that the Nevi'im, the prophets, told us could possibly happen has happened. This makes me certain that the best thing that the Nevi'im told us could happen is also going to happen." And this is one of those things. We're going to sing Od Yeshama. It is still possible. Really, it is still possible that in the expanses of Jerusalem, in the cities of Judea, in our cities, in our hearts, we will hear the sound of joy, the sound of rejoicing, the voice of the beloved, and the voice of the lover.
It's page 343.
If you don't know this tune yet, it's what my grandmother would have called snappy. And it's going to finish with a nigun that I challenge you not to find your way into. Od Yeshama Barei Yehuda Uvechusot Yerushalayim. Od Yeshama Barei Yehuda Uvechusot Yerushalayim. Kol sason v'kol simcha, kol chatan v'kol kala, kol sason v'kol simcha, kol ahuv v'kol re'ah. Ay, 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 la, 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 ay, 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 la, 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 ay, ay, oh, ay, la, 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 ay, 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 la, 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 Od Yeshama Barei Yehuda Uvechutzot Yerushalayim.
If you want to stay in and sing, you're welcome to, but I invite you please to go get food. Good Shabbos. Oh, there it is.